guys out there that will not be caught dead paying bills for anybody.
To be with someone that teaches you how to love yourself.
Any change that anybody did not do before marrying you, don't expect that.
When I stopped going to school, I cried, just any blind boy.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining me today on Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. It's 5 p.m. and you're tuned in just in time for a deep, meaningful conversation right here on the show. We're streaming to you live on radio and TV at Rhythm 93.7 FM and Silverbed News 24, which you can watch on Star Times channel 109, or simply go on YouTube, search for Silverbed N24, click on the live icon to watch the show live. I'm super excited to join you. So for people who have been saying, oh God, Deborah, you look so good today, you look fly. So if you want to know what I look like, you better tune in right now to be a part of the show. Yes, today we're shaking the waters on, as always, a very deep, interesting topic. And what we're talking about today is masculinity, toxic masculinity. What do men really go through behind closed doors? When we talk about masculinity, I'm sure we've heard about masculine, it has to do with the man. There are often behaviors and attributes that are seen that is very appropriate to boys or men in a given society, like the way a boy should actually behave. In short, masculinity simply refers to the society's expectation of males, simply put. So when we talk about toxic masculinity, it's actually the version of those attributes, or the version of masculinity that is unhealthy to both men, to women, and the society at large. We can just say it's a set of negative behaviors that men think they have to follow to be a proper man, to be a real man. In a society today, we have a man, we have normal man, we have real man, we have feminine man. People have divided men into different categories, and sometimes they will tell you, when they see some traits that are not very, in quotes, manly, they say, oh, man up. Take it like a man. Every time you should be a hard guy. You are a man. You should not cry in public. You should not even cry at all. You're a man. You should be strong. A man should be tough, and then you find that our men have evolved into people that cannot express themselves anymore. They do not know how to express their emotions, because when you see a guy looking sad and starting to shed a tear or two, you start feeling like, oh my God, is this really a guy? Oh my God, you're not tough. You're not strong. You're supposed to be strong. They will say men are supposed to be kings. They are warriors. They are odogus. They will call you odogu male until one day you collapse and die because you are trying to be strong. Ladies and gentlemen, we are asking a big question today on the show. Men are not as vulnerable. They don't talk about their emotions. What do men really go through behind closed doors? Men, do you really cry? Do you cry? Because honestly, I'm thinking about it now. I don't think I've ever seen my dad shed a tear. I've never seen my brother shed a tear or two. And when they're sad, we don't know what happens to them. Do they just disappear? In fact, we find out that men now opt for intoxicating substances. We have them dealing with their emotions by, drinking or having alcohol just to cope, with their emotions. What do men really go through, behind closed doors? This is the topic we're talking about today on the show. What is toxic masculinity? Have you found yourself as a man liking some certain colors or liking to wear pink? When you say those things that, you wear a pink shirt, they'll be like, you be woman, you be man. Ladies and gentlemen, literally join the conversation. Call in on 0705 993 6937 or 0705 993 7937. We're talking about toxic masculinity. Why men don't cry in public. What will you do if you find I don't know, the picture of it is actually making me laugh, but it shouldn't. It's not something that we should. I was speaking to someone just a few minutes on my, as always, I always post the topic on my WhatsApp status, and this guy says, oh, he broke up with someone on Monday and he's been crying ever since then. And when he was thinking about what he did wrong, he realized that he actually expressed so much of his emotions to this lady. He lost his dad, and then he always burst into random tears, was completely open and vulnerable. Maybe not completely, but to an extent he was vulnerable. And then he realized that she started, treating him a certain way. So the question is, even if we say our men should be more vulnerable, should they talk to us about their emotions, they should not bottle it in. Women, are we also ready to receive, the kind of man, a man who is able to balance his emotions? Are we able to receive? How do we react when we see a man expressing himself and his emotions? Do we laugh at him? Do we say man up? Do we say, oh, be a hard guy? What is your personal experience, with this? Are you an even emotional guy? Are you somebody who loves to be in touch with your emotions? How do you deal with it? How do people respond to it? I want to hear your thoughts. I want you to be a part of the conversation. Share your opinions by calling in on 0705-993-7937. I'll take my first caller for today. Hello.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. Thanks for calling.
How are you, Deborah?
Hi, Mr. Joseph. How are you doing today?
Fine, are you?
I'm well. Good to have you on the show.
Yeah, so this is your topic anyway. But I feel that we men, that if you want to cry, I think if you're emotionally really not good or what really touch you, I think if you want to cry, you can cry it out.
Really?
Because most men, few of the men do that, not everybody. But not, you need to cry it out. Because of, that your emotion, that your feeling can go away with you. But I'm not the kind of person like that. I feel that if I'm very in a sad mood, I don't cry. Maybe I will hang out with my guys. Or if I'm alone, maybe I will be listening to cool music to just calm my head down. Are you with me?
I'm here with you.
So, for a man to cry out, I don't think maybe the man is weak. And I don't think maybe he's not a man enough. I think maybe he's expressing his own feelings. That's the way I feel about it anyway. Because we are not the same. So you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I hear you, Joseph. So when you are in deep trouble, like yourself, I want to hear your own opinion as a man. When you are in deep trouble, can you take us back to a moment where were actually in deep problem or deep trouble? How did you deal with your emotions? Did you just step out and go and have a few drinks? There are some things that drinks cannot fix in the moment.
Okay, you mean I'm going to share it with my woman, or is that what you're trying to say?
I don't know. How do you deal with it? That's what I want to know.
Okay, that's what I told you. If it's for me, it's either I share it with my brothers, or if it's something I cannot say it out within myself, I'll hold it to myself. What I will do that, I may hang out with my guys, but I will not say anything because I don't share my family problem to friends. Are you with me?
Yes, I'm here with you.
So it's either or, I be alone and be hearing a cool music. But if it's a thing that I can share with my woman, I think I will share it with her. But it may not be immediately. So you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Maybe when I'm calmed down with the situation, I will just share it with her. I can share it with her. That's how I deal with it.
I get you. I hear you. Thank you so much, Joseph, for sharing your thoughts. All right. This is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters, and we're talking about toxic masculinity today. What do men really go through behind closed doors? How do men deal with their emotions? You hear real men don't cry. What are your thoughts on that? Real men do not cry. Is it a true statement or a false statement? Sometimes you see situations where they say all men must like sports. If you don't like sports or football, then you're not a real man. In fact, there was the time I met a guy, I was like, oh, are you into sports? And then the way he even answered, it was very awkward because he felt like, the way I sensed it, he felt like, oh, he was less of a man for not liking sports or for not liking football. Men, you see them, they rarely ask for help. They rarely say I'm sorry. They rarely open up themselves, to us, to women, or even to their fellow men. To their fellow men, I don't even know how that goes, because I'm not a man. But I also want to get into your minds and into your heads today, and that's why we're opening up this topic to on the phone lines. So feel free to be a part of the conversation. Call in on 0705 993 6937 or 0705 993 7937. Again, Joseph just called and said, oh, the way he deals with his own problem is to, have a drink, sit with his friends and all. But guys, there's a moment where you're in some types of problem, and you want to have a drink, you want to step out. But you get some problem where go choke you. Some situations where go choke you. When no be drink, you won't drink. No be drink, I go drink. Drink no go solve this problem. So what happens then? Do you get what I mean? I'll take my second caller. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hi, good evening.
Abubakar, good evening.
Abubakar, good evening. Thanks for calling.
Oh, how are you?
I'm well. How are you today?
Fine.
Yes, Abubakar, I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this topic.
Your topic today, this one, I think this is a WAEC exam.
I hope you pass. So I hope you will not go and fake your own score too.
Well, you are the one to mark it now. I can't be the student and at the same time be the invigilator or
So why do you think this is WAEC exam?
From your explanation, masculine.
Well, I be like masculinity. Oh.
Well done, man. Yes, honestly, we hardly cry, but truly we do cry a lot.
Really?
Like myself, I have gone through so many trials, but I did not cry. But the day I cried twice was the day I lost my sibling brother and my own mother.
Wow.
Yes, she died, I think, 12 midnight. I continued to cry till she was buried.
Oh, my.
You understand? So the relationship, the feeling, that was what makes me to cry. The way she used to play with me and many other things. If I had that thought, then I would begin to cry. So a lot of people were stopping me, I could not stop. You understand? So you are a man now. Why are you crying now? Look at your sisters now. I was not even listening to anybody. Because the feelings is in me, not in them. You understand?
Yes.
So that is it. We do cry, but not often. Not because somebody break your heart, not because somebody refuses to pay your money. No. Just like Mr. Joseph, sometimes if I maybe get angry and something just, so I will just go somewhere and sit down. If you offend me, I will not answer you immediately. I will go and ponder over those things. What really happened before you take that action? You understand? Before I will not think of what to do. So that is me.
Interesting. Thank you so much for sharing, Abubakar.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. This is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. I love that men are speaking up. I love that you guys are actually taking us, giving us perspective into your world and how you deal with your emotions. And emotions is just even one of many of this, toxic masculinity. Abubakar said I'm speaking English. It's why with this English. I'm looking for a better word to break it down from toxic masculinity. I can't help it. But I'm sure you guys understand what I mean. Toxic masculinity as per, the masculinity or the attributes that you have to be a man that is not unhealthy. Like people saying, oh, man up, when you're just trying to be you, when you're trying to express yourself. Another one will say, men are providers. Oh, of course men are providers, but should he kill himself because he wants to provide? In a situation when he cannot totally provide, should he die because he wants to provide? They will say a man's worth is dependent on how much money he makes. I think in a way there's a bit of toxicity there. When you say that, oh, a man's worth, there's so much more that a man can be than just beyond the money that he brings to the table. So this is a lot is going on here, and this actually shapes the kind of boys and men and even teenagers that we're building in our society today, and in turn leaders. Relationship experts once said that men are most likely the gender that would commit suicide or be more depressed because of the bottling of emotions, because people are not ready to hear them out. When you're a man and you're a certain way, there's a lot of pressure left, right, and center, and that in itself leads to toxicity, and reduces the expression of how a man can express himself, or should express himself. So I want to hear your thoughts on the topic toxic masculinity. The masculinity that the society thinks that you have to be. You have to be a certain way. You have to love sport. You have to be smart. You have to provide. You have to have money to be before people have to depend on you for money. We'll see young guys that just literally came out. They've not even set up their lives, and you see them carrying a lot of responsibilities just because they are the man. And women, are we also ready to receive this? We're asking men to be more open. We're asking them to be more vulnerable. But are we also ready to accept when these men, open up? Are we going to use it against them? Are we going to take it for granted? I also want to hear your female thoughts on it. What are your thoughts, when a man expresses himself, when a man is even more vulnerable, when a man says sorry, when a man says he needs help, when a man tells you he needs help, what runs through your mind? Are we ready for this conversation? This is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. This is where we always have conversations, literally, that you think you're not ready for, and we break it down right here on the show. To be a part of the conversation, call in on 0705 993 6937 or 0705 993 7937. As always, I have a guest on standby to join me, my special guest for today. It's going to be helping us break it down on the topic. I can't wait to hear like an expert opinion on this. I'll take my last caller for this segment. Hello? 7937. This is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters, and I quickly want to go on a water break right now on Deep Waters, and I'll be back with my special guest and of course more calls from you. I feel like this conversation, for some reason, you guys are not ready to have this conversation. We just want to continue to produce some set of guys that are still toxic and masculine. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, hi, good evening.
Good evening, ma. How are you doing?
I'm well. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Prince. I'm calling from my papa work.
Your name is?
Prince. I'm calling from my papa
Faye
work.
from Apapa. Thank you for calling. Thank you so much for calling. I appreciate it.
So I don't know what to say, but only men know what they are facing to do right now. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So anything about, because it's true, what you say is true, because young guy carried enough load because of your responsibility, and a man, see yet you have not set your life. So men are passing through a lot. Even me, I know what I'm passing through right now.
What are you passing through?
No, my friend.
What are you passing through?
Only me know what I'm passing through right now.
Tell us more of what you are passing through, Faith.
Okay, you want to know what I'm passing through?
Yes.
Okay. Right now, I lost my dad last month. Yes, now, I've not said, it's when I come back last week now, he said then, the work that I'm doing is not working since then. So, I'm working at a papa, and I'm working as
Oh, I lost that. This is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. Let's go on a break right now. I'm so sorry for losing your dad, Faith. And I will also just want to hear more men actually talk about these things, because sometimes we just feel like you guys don't talk about these things. We cannot even connect with you on a deeper level, because of this. I don't know if it's Faith still calling, but I'll just take this call before the break. Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, this is Vivian coming from Apapa.
Vivian from Apapa, thank you so much for calling.
Thank you. So, although I'm not a guy, but I grew up in midst of boys.
I can't really hear you, Vivian.
I grew in the midst of guys.
Okay, you grew in the midst of guys.
Yes, and majority of my friends too are guys. So
okay.
I can easily relate to them. If I
Okay.
may start, some guys have their way of expressing their feelings and their emotions. So they just have to cry it out and feel okay. While some need someone to talk to. While some they just want to be
Keep it to themselves.
also themselves. Yeah.
Mm.
So it all depends on the community or the people they to.
So, but why? I hear you, Vivian. But why do people cry? Are you there? Oh, we lost Vivian. Ooh. All right. Why do people cry? Why do people laugh when they see guys crying? Whether on social media, whether in real life, you hear things like, "Is a man? Why is he crying?" Guys, I like that you guys are saying that. Oh, men deal with this thing differently. But why do we laugh at men when they express themselves? Why do we laugh at men when they talk about their emotions? Why? Why? That's what I want to know. Let's go on this break, this long-awaited break. I'll be back with more conversations, more calls, and of course, my special guest on standby. Stay tuned.
Hey foodies, this one's for you. How much do you really love food? Do you think you can eat more than anyone else, anytime, anyplace, and anywhere? And can you eat really, really fast? Well, the time has come to put your money where your mouth is. Register for the Silverbirds Food Challenge and go head-to-head with fellow food lovers. Beat the food clock and you can win lots of exciting prizes, including setting a new food eating world record. To register, visit our website at www.rhythm93.7.com. Fill the form and upload a picture of yourself eating your favorite food. Post a picture on Instagram with the caption, My Food Challenge Entry, and using the hashtag Silverbird Food Challenge. Tag us at 93.7 Rhythm FM, at Silverbird TV, at Silverbird N24. Silverbird's Food Challenge, for the love of food.
Don't throw stones in a glass house.
No nation or people can achieve greatness using violence.
And when we do violence or do acts of violence, it kills the other person. Before you act, always remember that violence is the last refuge of the incompetent.
Peace cannot be achieved through violence.
According to the late great Nelson Mandela, great anger and violence cannot build a nation.
So many of us have forgotten the importance of unity in achieving the greater Nigeria.
Ask yourself before you make any decision, will it bring about love? Will it spread peace and unity? And will it bring about the progress of your community?
There cannot be enough explanation to justify violent acts.
You should not respond to violence with violence, but rather with peace and love. Keep the peace. Stop the violence.
This is a message from the Silverbird Group.
Welcome back. This is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters, and yes, indeed, we're right in the middle of the deep, ready to dive even deeper on the topic toxic masculinity. Abubakar said that the English I'm speaking today is jambo. That is like we're writing jam with this English, toxic masculinity. I can't help, but I'm looking for a better word. Maybe our coach in the house will help us with a better word, but I can't think of a better word for toxic masculinity. But basically, it's masculinity that is unhealthy. Behavior of because I feel like a professor. The behavioral attributes of a man that is unhealthy for men and even women and also the society at large. Is that better? You're tuned in live on Radio 93.7 FM and of course on Silverbird News 24, which you can watch on StarTimes channel 109 or stream on YouTube. by looking for the Silverbed N24 icon. Click on the live button to watch. Deep Waters is live on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 4:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. on Mondays, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Wednesdays, and 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Fridays. Of course, today is Wednesday, and we're having a fabulous time digging deep on a very interesting topic, toxic masculinity. Earlier on, I took calls from you, and yes, the thoughts were quite interesting. Vivian, I would love you to call back because I also want to hear a female's or feminine opinion on this. You know, I hear you loud and clear. You say that men have different ways of dealing with things and all. But why do people talk down or laugh at or make jest or, you know, just, you know, laugh at men when they express their emotions? And again, emotions is just one of many toxicity that we experience in masculinity. Sometimes even when men express domestic violence, they can't come out to talk about it because people will also laugh at them. You know, they'll take them police station. Even the police will be telling you that, you be mad now. Why they come beat you? Why woman take beat you like this? That is very, very toxic. But again, I don't know if we're ready for this conversation. On standby with me is a very, very special man in the house. I don't want to sound very, very cliche, but I'll just go straight to the point when it comes to him. He's a mentor, an advisor, an evaluator, a coach, an award-winning leadership expert, an author. Am I right? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about Niyi Adesanya. He's much more, but because of time, you know, I can't really go deep into that. Good to have you on the show.
It's good to be here.
Yeah.
And then it's good to know that this show is good. You're really doing well. I've just been admiring the way you've been talking things.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Good to have you. I can't wait for you to share your wealth of knowledge and experience, especially as regards to speaking. I know you do a lot of speaker also. I didn't add that part. You're a speaker. Are you a singer?
I tried, but people ran out of the auditorium.
Last time you tried. Yeah, so good to have you in the studio. I would love to hear your thoughts on toxic masculinity. Is there something, you know, there's people, all the things I'm saying now, some people just feel like this is completely masculine. This is just a masculine trait. Don't cry, be strong, man up, you know, be a provider, be a fighter, be a warrior, be all these things. Don't love pink colors, you have to love masculine colors, black and what do you call it again? Black and grey and blue. You start wearing pink and, you know, those colors. You start saying, are you gay? Or can I not permit to say that on air? Are you that? You understand what I mean? So is there something that is it just masculinity? Or is there something that's actually toxic masculinity?
Well, when it comes to life, everything has two sides to it. So you have the positive and you have the negative. Mm-hmm. Whether masculinity, whether relationship, whether work, whether career, whether business, there's always the good one and then the bad side. And the bad side is always can be referred to as toxic. So whether you're a man or a woman or any other gender, there is always the toxic side of it. Now, when it comes to men, what most of people call toxic for men, it's more like the ego. We have an ego, and that's what makes you a man. And then your ability to manage that ego, yeah, that's what makes you.
The ego makes you a man.
Oh yeah, that is what makes you a man.
Really?
Now, yeah, you have to have a sense of pride. You have to have a sense of provision, providing for your family, protecting your family.
But what makes you a man is literally your gender, first of all. No. That you have a.
No. That makes you a male.
Hey.
A male is different from a man. Man requires maturity. Now, what gives you the right to be a male? It's more like, probably your sex and everything. But there is a place of maturity and there's a place of handling situation. Now, your ego comes to play and your ego is so loud. If your ego is so loud and uncontrollable, then it becomes toxic. Now, you must get to a point as a man that you can manage your ego. Now, there's time for everything. Even the Bible says that. Mm-hmm. Time to embrace and time to restrain from embracing. Time to fight and time not to fight. There's just that. There's a time to protect your family. If somebody comes into my house right now threatening my family, I have to fight back. So that to somebody may be, okay, violence, because violence also could be a bit toxic. but it depends on the situation and our context around it. So people should realize that when they say men should cry, men should not cry, we all cry, whether you like it or not. We may not cry publicly, but we cry. So the question is that why are you crying? And where are you crying? Why are you crying? Where are you crying? Because when you cry is very important. Yeah. As a businessman, your business fails, and then there's a crash, and then you're all wailing. That's weakness. Now you can wail. You can wail in the private.
Weakness when women can also wail in terms of situations.
You are a special species, and we need to just acknowledge that. And women are more emotional than men. We are more rational. And then, not that you guys are not. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me to that Beijing conference. No. But this is it. Women are more intuitive, emotional, and men are more. Let me just say objective. And then the culture also has prepared us for that. Also, I mean, the different culture that you're in. Mm-hmm. So based on that, we do not expect, nature do not expect a man to just start crying at every situation that comes. Mm-hmm. You have to be objective about it. You have to look at it. That's just the man's makeup. Mm-hmm. And then which is different from the woman's makeup.
But I would think that every one of us, we just keep saying men, women, and and how we deal with stuff. But wouldn't you say that both men and women have, we also have our feminine and masculine side?
Definitely.
We also have women with lots of ego, just like we do men with ego. So I would have thought that, because we also have a balance, we all have masculine and feminine energies within us. And for the men, maybe the masculine and the ego thing is so much more. It just feels like the feminine side of them, which is the soft, nurturing, emotional, the one that we can connect with, is, especially in this part of the world, is on an all-time low.
Yeah, it will be because of our culture, because of our upbringing. We can't run away from that.
But we're constantly breaking culture every day. Culture is no longer culture anymore.
No, you see, it's still there. It's still deep. We're talking about deep waters. It's still very, very deep in our environment. Now, this is it. For a man, there's so many things that's expected of you. And especially when I said earlier on, your nature, the way you've been made, the way you've been created is different. Now, when you even look at the animals, you look at it, look at the lion, look at the male species has a different way of operating than a female species. So when we put that into consideration, you know that there's some things that men are, that is expected of a man.
But does it make it right? Does it?
Oh yeah, it does. This is it. There is nothing wrong in the different genders. There's nothing wrong in a woman being emotional. There's nothing wrong in a man being, objective, or rational. I don't want to use. I'm careful about my words right now, so that I don't get into the female feminist situation.
Shout out to our feminists in the house.
Apologies.
Please calling.
So. It's just something that you expect a man to do. Do you understand?
Because the society says so. But there are some men that don't have all this ego you're saying. Some men are so much in tune with their femininity.
No, sweetheart.
Does it make them less of a man?
No. You see, like you said, you have both. But one is more pronounced in a particular gender than the other one. So like I said, everybody just needs to know how to manage the ego, or the masculinity and the femininity, because really most women, if not all women, would not want to have a feminine guy.
If she's masculine,
even if she's masculine,
she would attract a much more a guy with women who touch is more a feminine side.
An average woman, after a while, after attracting that very feminine guy and everything, after a while they start complaining.
Because the society.
No, not the society. Because they themselves now realize that there is something missing. I want a man that can drive me. My man is just laid back. My man is just at home. He's not doing anything.
Hold that
Okay.
thought. Let's take a call. We may have questions for you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Good evening. Thanks for calling.
Good evening.
Thank you for calling. I appreciate it. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Tunde. I'm calling you from Aja.
Thank you for calling. I appreciate it. So talk to me.
Yes, so this topic is a very interesting topic.
Thank you.
And to a very large extent, I think I want to disagree with our guests.
Our guests, they want to disagree with
Very
you,
large extent.
which is completely okay. It's allowed here on the show.
Yes.
Yes, please go ahead.
So, when we talked about crying, emotional crying, loss of business, crying is a remedy actually. Sometimes we even, as counselors, professional counselors, we prescribe crying to those who have are in a state of emotion where it is needed. It sometimes lifts you off the pain. So for a man to cry is not a bad thing. It's not bad at all. It's an expression. But society, upbringing, has conditioned a lot of us to behave in a certain manner. Because of the examples we've seen before us, a lot of us have never seen our father cry, so why should we cry?
Yes.
But it takes a lot of sensual awareness, you understand, for you to be able to understand how you particularly want to express yourself. A lot of people are bottling up things and eventually they are dying at the end of the day because they've been able to release those emotional energies in a particular manner. So for a man to be emotional, most of all these other signs, beating up, being a man beating up his wife, being careless, are all symptoms of a particular issue that has conditioned them to be that. And because of inability to express the right way, they now begin to misbehave.
Okay.
What's
What's your name again? What's your name again, please?
My name is Tunde.
Tunde, I never said a man should not cry. What I said is that why and where should the man cry? Look, we all cry. Even the man standing is talking to you right now. I cry.
Oh, you do?
But will I now go? Will my car break down and then there's no solution and I start crying? That's a different ballgame entirely. Sometimes you're overwhelmed. Like you said, crying is therapeutic. And sometimes I watch this music reality show. What's it called? This not The Voice.
Okay.
The Voice, and then The Voice comes on, and I am willing. Sometimes I watch some movies, I'm willing, and because you need that to let go of some tension.
You're willing in the comfort of your home.
In the comfort of my own will on the street.
But that's what we're saying now. Why are we so selective as to where, emotions are some things you can't help. Sometimes it can arrest you in such a way that, I myself personally am a lady and I will not wail in public. But sometimes among close friends, it's two can drop.
Look,
so when you do that as a guy, they will talk about
no, because this is you don't want to. It's good for you to be vulnerable. It's good for you to be weak, but your weakness should not make you disadvantaged. Do you understand? Because look, just imagine we're in a business deal, and okay, let me just give you a good example of what happened to me like two weeks ago or a week ago. I want to believe that I misplaced my wristwatch. I mean, and everybody was expecting a reaction from me. It was very painful. Very painful. I mean, what I mean by the wristwatch.
How expensive?
No, it's a Rolex wristwatch. And it's quite...
custom made?
Well, I don't know about that. But you see, the expression people were expecting from me. Now, when I was in my room, I was a bit down. I was wondering, trying to figure things out. Did I cry? No. Why? Because I've been able to develop myself to the point that no material thing, no matter how much it is, should overwhelm me. Do you understand? And then sometimes even business fail. I've done a lot of programs that didn't work out. I've traveled somewhere that you put a program up and nobody shows up. So do you want to start crying? The people only see the ones that work. They don't see the other ones that didn't work. Now, you're having an argument with somebody, or you're having a situation that you're trying to pass your message across. Now, that is not the time to break down and show weakness.
But not everybody is like you.
No, everybody should be, because there is a demand on you, the society, and the business they're in. Probably because I'm talking.
What society is demanding of me.
Because
I'm my own entity.
Because see that if you
Society should not determine my happiness.
this is not about the society determining your. No, it's not about that. Look, this is it. Let me say this. There are 4 basic factors or pillar that sustains any individual: your thoughts, your feelings, your behaviors, and the environment. Now, strength is you making sure that your thinking and your thought takes charge of the process, because the way you think affect the way you feel affect the way you behave, the way you behave affect your environment. Now, if you allow your environment to take control of the whole thing, then you get yourself into a fix. Now, there's a place to cry when you have the people you're vulnerable with. With my family, I can cry. When I'm in the house, I can cry. When I'm with my friends that knows me, I can cry. They rally around me, they cover me up, and they allow me to cry. Because there's something called delayed grief. If you delay it, when you're supposed to cry and you do not cry, you delay, you start bottling it up. And then it gets so bottled up that you will be surprised that a tiny little thing that is not supposed to spark you up will escalate it, and you just start breaking down.
Why you hold that on? Let's take another caller. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, hi, good evening, a lady, finally. How are you today?
Fine. It's Vivian calling back.
Oh, Vivian, good. Thanks for calling back. So talk to me, Vivian.
So, like I was saying, it all depends on how they relate with people. It's not bad for a guy to cry, because like my brother now, he feels better crying, just like to let out his emotions, his thoughts, his feelings, So it's not bad. And secondly, sometimes why some men don't cry, or it's not as if they don't feel like pouring out their heart through crying, but it's just that depending on people they not be mad you see, over they are looking there, and that is too man of. Just what be a man, like it has led so many men to grave.
True.
Like, it has led so many men to being toxic, being toxic, and some even being drunk, being a drunk, and some also being aggressive, because we don't have someone to like relate with or the people around them, like they don't just want to let out their emotions. Now that emotion keeps growing in them, becoming stress, anger, and that's why you see in some relationships. That's why you see in some.
Oh, Vivian, I lost you again, and I had a question for you. I wanted to know, Vivian, that if you had a chance, would you date a guy who bottles up his emotions, or the one who expresses it to you? Well, if you can call back, please call back. Yes, so your thoughts.
Sweetheart, all men cry. All. We all cry. When you get to a point, you will cry.
When we have never seen them, we've never seen them cry.
No, you don't have to see us cry. That is it.
Why?
You don't have to. Why must you see me cry?
If we're lovers, or if we're family, why can't you?
Then you will see me cry. If you live in the same house, and if I'm overwhelmed, then you will see me cry. I've cried before my family.
I've never seen my brothers cry. I've never seen my dad cry.
Do you live together? Probably they've not been to a situation where they have to break down. There's a situation that breaks you down that you'll be forced to cry. Like I said, sometimes you bottle these things up, but it gets to a point where it overflows. Just a little thing. Look, I have a cousin. I can remember right now. This cousin has never fought anybody before. He's always there, Mr. Nice Guy. So the day he fought someone, an older cousin, the day he fought someone, guess who he fought?
Who?
A policeman at a party. We all couldn't believe it. So in other words, he has been bottling all these things up, but they will come in, and he was fighting and crying. And I'm talking about a proper Ijebu man that has been brought up in a traditional way and everything. He was fighting and crying. A policeman, not an individual. Even he's an older cousin, I could hit him and then he just leaves. So there's a point to get to that if you bottle it up for too long, it will escalate. And again, look, there is a place to cry. We can't just have a program and then say men should just be crying anyhow and then they should express their emotions. No, they will pay for it. They will pay for it. They will pay massively for it. They will pay massively.
Will pay for your cry.
The guy himself will pay for it. Because you see, whether you call it masculine or not masculine, feminine and everything, there is a place, there is a position the society has taken that doesn't allow for weakness. Now, being vulnerable is different from being weak. I can be vulnerable before you, before close associate, before close friends. I can't go publicly and then probably disgrace myself or start crying.
Even the close associates and close friends too are not, it's not in all cases that they are safe. Like I was speaking to a guy before this call and he said he was expressing to his babe, his girlfriend. And then at the end of the day she left him because he was probably just expressing himself.
Probably has been expressing himself for too much, too long, every now and then continuously.
When does it become too much?
What does it get to? You need to. There's a place for expression and there's a place for taking your place. Whether as a man or as a woman. Some men cannot even take a woman who keeps expressing herself by crying and crying and crying and crying all the time. In as much as she wants to be vulnerable.
Crying, but you know that this thing we're saying is not like you just start crying and crying. It means maybe something happened and then you express it in that little way. Do you understand? It's not like we have people that will just be wailing around now. Of course not.
We want people to just be crying. I think we should have a show.
No, that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is we just keep saying, oh, everybody, but I'm sure you understand what I mean.
I do understand, but one thing I need to let you know, everybody needs to know that everybody cries. Men will cry. In their closet, whether in their private place or with their
It's just that doing it when you don't show us. You don't want, cry you don't want. Some people don't even express yourself to us. You don't even say I'm sorry. Sometimes you can't even say I love you.
That is a
different. I need you.
That is a
Why is it so hard to say I need you?
Because the society has prepared us that way.
Is the society inside our home? Is the society in our relationships?
Yeah. Look, any man that you are getting involved with, you are getting involved with his upbringing, his biases, his prejudices, and also there's something called the frame of reference. Every man puts whatever you say through their frame of reference, and the frame of reference is their education, exposure, their network, and the people that they relate with, and everything. Now, look, it's easier for somebody, look at the society, and I just want to give you a good example. It's easier for somebody who is from Ibadan, a man from Ibadan, to be very vocal and then take you word for word. Do you understand? That is a man from Ibadan because that society there emphasizes more on the talking. Now, it is very likely that a guy from Wari will not talk too much, but will talk with his fist. Yeah, because the society prepared him that way.
Okay,
that's the way it is.
I see what you're saying. The society actually has a part to play in everything from our upbringing. So, but we should get to a point where we should be able to separate or stand because everything cannot be about the society.
We need help. We need help to be able to get away from the society because look, formative years, the unconscious mind has been worked on by the society, by the environment. You understand? 1 to 7 years is your formative years, and then your tabula rasa comes in clean, and then there's the
what's tabula rasa?
It's a plain, like a clean slate that a child comes from.
Okay, like a table.
A table. You know,
I mean, my phone has been busting calls, and I don't know. Okay, guys, I'm so sorry I've been missing your calls. And when the last segment, I'll take your calls now. The number to call is 0705-993-7937 or 0705-993-6937. I'm sure you have questions, comments, and all. So the time is now to call.
Hello, this is Tunde again.
Yeah, hi, good evening. Thanks for calling. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Tunde again.
Oh, okay, Tunde. I'm sure you called to me. Okay, Tunde, go ahead. You just spoke to you some minutes ago now. Okay, no, it's not. Tunde, have you called on my show before? No, I don't think so.
No, this is the first time I'm calling.
Yeah, of course. I know my callers, duh.
I do always try to call though.
Oh,
It doesn't go through.
I appreciate that you came
Today
through.
I'm persistent because of the topic, which I really do.
Yeah, so talk to me today.
So to a very large extent, the environmental factors, societal factors, plays a big role, like our African said, in the upbringing of everybody. We all grow up from different states, from different families, and we have seen how situations are happening differently, and of course, those things are, rubbed off on our personality, and we become these things, and we express that way. But like you said, like our speaker said, we need help. Honestly, from personal experience, I know I've been through a lot, and my babe has been an amazing person.
That's your girlfriend?
My fiance.
Okay,
Has been an amazing person. Like, the only person I can express that understands me, and then my way of dealing with my thing is I'll just my girl. You just not see me again. I will just not answer calls. I'll just go offline, everything, and she knows there's problem.
All right. Thank you so much for calling today. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I need to take more callers. Hello? All right, we lost that. So, I know you're just nodding your head through us and all. How do we, we're gradually getting to the end. We have like 2 minutes to wrap up the show. So how do we create healthy men? The society has its role to play. The human has a role to play. Women have their role. You don't think women are involved in this?
Oh, sure, you're sure involved, yeah. You need to accept us when we show our weaknesses. And no, seriously, wow. And you should not hammer on it. Now, when I express myself to you, and I tell you, okay, probably I cry, and then you're not bringing it up every now and then, I won't cry again. I won't show you any sign. I won't show you any emotion. You just need to take it and then be mature enough to be able to manage it. Now, the reason why most men don't do that is because they say, okay, this thing will come back. That's how you have been crying yesterday. You'll be crying again today. Now, no, a man, you would not see it.
I mean, women, we have sharp mouths.
Yeah, you have a way of you're blessed. You're blessed. But I think help, like you said, I think it's high time people started talking to probably therapists. And then first, you need to realize that you are even in that zone. Because most men don't even know that you're in that zone.
What zone?
Zone, I mean, you're toxic.
Okay.
You're toxic. You feel that it's acceptable to slap a woman in some climb. It's acceptable. To some people, it is not acceptable. So until you know that it is not acceptable, then you do not seek help. So we would advise people, and I think programs like this also exposes the whole thing to people to know, and these are the things that are acceptable in the society and are not acceptable in the society.
That's Niyi Adesanya endorsing deep waters right there.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think you need to have topics like this most of the time. You can see the people are even interested. And the men also will start calling in very often. So that's the first.
Yes.
Recognize you're in that zone, and then once you recognize you're in that, and then you are ready to seek help. Because most men don't like to. When you have a situation where a man and a woman will go and see a therapist or something, you find out that it's the woman that will push the man or pull the man to the therapist. The men will not.
Probably the one talking throughout the
Yeah.
hour.
So that's why also some of us, we put up together a program where there will be no women. It's just going to be men, and then we open up to ourselves.
Yeah,
we cry.
Oh, you guys cry in your
Oh,
conference?
definitely. There's come a time, you get to a height of worship that you just have to break up, and then we prayed. So we want people to break up. We want people to be vulnerable, and then we tell people whatever happens here stays here. Whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, kind of a thing. So we cover you up because sometimes you need people to cover you up. You need people who's got your back, or else you just be found wanting. So that's one of the things that we do, and then it's easier for a man to open up to a man than to open up to a woman. It's easier. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's easier for a man to open up.
But we have men that can take it. I mean, Tunde spoke about his lady being supportive, and we have women who can take it, who can understand.
So that I don't teach exceptions. I teach the rule. Rule is 99%. Exception is 1%. Whatever you see a woman that can take it is about 1%. 99% of the time,
I can take it.
Well, we need to test you. We need to test you and find out.
We'll find out about that. Thank you so much, Niyi Adesanya. This has been I feel like we just barely scratched the surface for this topic. It's such an introspective one. And we just spoke about crime. We have a lot to talk about when it comes to toxicity and vulnerability a lot. Maybe we'll have a part 2 of it and bring you on again.
Okay.
Is there any show coming up soon, where men can actually be vulnerable and cry?
Well, I guess this is just they can follow me on my social media and do.
Okay.
None for now. I right now it's all about business, making money.
Okay. But you can always DM me if you need a man to talk to. If you don't want to talk to me, I know you. You can talk to me though. But if you don't feel comfortable to talk to me, you can DM Niyi Adesanya, N Adesanya, right?
Yeah, N Adesanya.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being a part of the show.
Pleasure.
It was a very introspective one. This has been Deep Waters with Deborah Waters, live on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I'll be live again on Friday at 5 p.m. And of course, you can watch a repeat of this broadcast tomorrow on DSTV 252 at 11 p.m. So you just want to, if you want to hug your pillow and cry, this episode can help you do that. So yeah, watch it tomorrow. Recommend it to a friend or family. I appreciate you for calling. To all my callers, Tunde, Abubakar, Joseph, I appreciate you. I'll see you on Friday at 5 p.m. Vivian. Oh my God, I'm sorry about that. All right, thanks for calling and bye-bye. For myself and Niyi Adesanya.